excuse me. This is our Monday, March the 13th work session. I want to call to order and that's, there he comes. I want to ask Mr. Bartlett if he would come lead us in prayer before we start.
Dearly Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful day. We thank you, Father, for the rain. May it prove fruitful to our farmers in the area, to our foresters. We pray, Father, you be with this county commission and this board. Help them, Father, to make the decisions for our county citizens that will be best for all. And we pray, Father, that you be with us always and help us do those things which are right always. Forgive us of our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Y'all with us, pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. We don't have a guest speaker, so let's move on to the agenda items. We got for the Albany Avenue overpass, we have the engineers here, and Scott's going to
Yes, sir.
introduce them.
At the request of the commission, I asked representatives with Atlas Engineering and Hofstetter and Associates. They're working as a partnership to be here to present their perspective and more of a company background presentation on engineers that possibly could do the project for us. So I'll just turn it over to Carl and from there.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Bill DeVallen with Atlas Technical Consultants, and Carl just gave you off a little, an updated kind of version. I'll just kind of, if you'll allow me 5 or 10 minutes to kind of walk through and introduce ourselves and our company to you a little bit. So I'll start off with this first page just to kind of go through. So I'm not sure if you know from left to right. So the first person is Todd Long. Todd Long leads our Georgia division, and he's retired Georgia DOT Deputy Commissioner. He was a Chief Engineer for Greta, and he was also a Director for the Fulton County Public Works. So he's been in a lot of different institutions. Sammy Powell is our project manager. Sammy has like 40 years of experience. He started off designing bridges. He's done everything under the sun. Sammy, unfortunately, could not be with us tonight due to another commitment. Third person on there is Dave Bierce. So Dave Bierce is one of our employees. He's started off his career with CSX. He worked 16 years for CSX as a district engineer. And then he's been with Atlas for quite a few years. He started in 2005 when we started working with GDOT's rail crossing program. He's worked on that continually. And recently we were awarded another 5-year contract for that work with CSX. Also, Carl Hofstetter is with us. Carl Hofstetter and Associates will be performing the survey utilities. Also, I'd like to mention we've got Will Murphy with us as well. Will is Atlas's field operations manager for this district. He's retired Georgia DOT as well, district construction engineer and district reconstruction engineer as well. Moving forward, so you may know us as Moreland Alphabelli. Been around since the 80s, but now we're Atlas. We're located with this Atlas with this nationwide background. We're across 43 states. We've got about 3,500 employees. And what does that mean to you? Well, this is Georgia. I mean, we're all here in Georgia. Obviously, this is our Georgia division. We're all doing work, but we do have the backbone of a much larger company, so we do have resources available as needed. But I can tell you that the work that we're doing on this is all from Georgia. Real quickly, we put together just a few of our partners that we've had over the years. These are with local counties and municipalities. Just to point out, that's the Steel Route 169 bridge over CSX in Jessup, which was just completed a few years ago. Of course, we have a lot of GDOT experience as well. We listed a few projects that you may be aware of, but also there's pictured there is I-16 75 interchange that Atlas has designed. That's probably the largest design bid build project that GDOT's ever let, and it may be the largest one ever let. Now that those larger projects are going more commercial, more design build, P3, that type of thing. Just kind of moving on real quickly, why Atlas technical consultants, just to reiterate some of our benefits. So obviously it's the CSX experience we've done. We've designed lots of bridges over CSX. We've actually designed bridges to carry the railroads. We've got that institutional knowledge, like with having Dave Pierce on our team and our other railroad coordinators that work on that entire team. I think what's important too is the funding. We have lots of experience, lots of years of GDOT experience where, yes, we've, I guess I didn't really introduce myself. So I retired from Georgia DOT. I was a state bridge engineer. I started off my career in the bridge design. I worked my way up through bridge maintenance and inspection, and then came back to the bridge office and finished out my career designing bridges. So I was responsible for about 15,000 bridges in the state. And then, of course, we have, we've done lots of projects and we've done lots of work with local governments. To hit on, we've had standing relationships with certain counties for years. And then myself, I'm from a little town called Loganville. It's in Walton County, borders Woodhead. And I'm on city council, so I kind of have an idea of what you do, what you're doing with your budgets and all that. And I'm vice mayor for City of Loganville as well. Flipping over real quickly, this is about Sammy Powell. That's Sammy, as a project manager, would be a single point of contact with that person that she can pick up the phone and find out what's going on. We understand the project that you're looking for. Yes, we're actually go down and look at it today and sit there and watch the train just sit there for I don't know how long before we bypass it. We'll provide monthly reports, and then we'll have frequent community check-ins just to make sure that everyone's informed. But I think the real meat of it, the real importance of why we can go to this is what you're looking for is that in a minute I'll show you our schedule, but we put together a schedule that's both reasonable and achievable in order to get that project underway within a two-year period. Of course, we have Carl. You want to say something? Yeah.
Before you go any further,
Yes.
let me say something. The city of Waycross is a partner in this project, and there are representatives from the city of Waycross back there. Could you furnish them with the same material that we have?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry I waited so late to ask
No
that.
problem. Thank you.
Glad you brought that up, Jerry. I didn't see them.
I am
Thank
Carl
you.
Hofstetter, and I appreciate you allowing me to be here. When I found out about this project and I wanted to submit on it, I knew that as far as having a bridge, that's not really what I do. We have a surveying crew, two of our employees live in Ware County. I learned in this part of the country, if you don't hire Tomlin, you don't have a survey. And so I went and hired two of them. And so we do have some local people here. Elmer and I have known each other for 30 years. I started Hofstede Associates in 1982, and we're the engineers for over 40 cities and counties around this area, so we're very familiar with this area. So thank you for letting us be here, and if there's any questions or anything, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay. Thank you, Carl.
Also, let's point out, again, on there, Todd Long. So you may recall a few years ago that there's a Senate bill that changed the organization with Georgia DOT. And one part of that was that the governor would select a planning director that would report to the governor. And And then also, but that person selected would also be confirmed for the position by the House and Senate Transportation Committee. Well, Todd Long was that first planning director selected by Nathan Deal to lead that charge and start developing a program statewide. You also are probably familiar with some of the other things that Todd worked on, like T-Splost and TIA, and also modifications to the local grant program as well. So having Todd leading us as the Georgia division is a great thing. We have a lot of resources available and a lot of connections to figure out funding issues, that type of thing. Just real quickly, you are all provided with a design budget that just recaps what we submitted. But then probably the more important part was this schedule that we put together. If you see what you kind of see in there is, we put together a schedule. We've talked about this, about it. What do you do about a publicly funded project that's not under the purview of a federal program, not under the purview of GDOT? That's what we've done. We've been able to kind of compress things, layer them in respect so that we can have things occurring concurrently, and then they can come together. Like we can make sure we get that full concept done with all of our survey and initial engagement with CSX, make sure we're on the right track. We get that buy-in from you all before, in the county, before we move forward with that pens on paper and doing all the design work. And then we work through that so that we deliver this thing and we're ready to get final approval from CSX within that 24-month period. So we're ready to work for Ware County. We want to be a partner. We've been a lot of partners with a lot of different company, municipalities and counties around the state. And I know you probably have some questions, so I try to keep it brief. And Carl and Will and I will try to answer whatever questions you have.
I got some, Mr. Chairman.
You got one? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
appreciate your presentation, and you mentioned about the number of employees that you all have. How many you say you have?
Well, across the country, about 3,500.
Okay. And so in Georgia, what about in Georgia?
In Georgia, I think we're right around 800, about 800.
Okay. What's the makeup of your company?
So Atlas as a whole, we have we do a lot of we have an engineering function, mainly horizontal work and a little bit of vertical. But we do a bulk of our project is materials testing, construction inspection, and we have inspection labs across the country, materials labs, that type of thing. That's a good bit of what we do.
Okay, I guess maybe be a little bit more specific as far as the racial makeup of your company and gender makeup. I'm just curious as to what that makeup is.
I don't know percentages. We're a very diverse company. I don't know offhand. We can find that out for you.
Okay. And I understand too that you are Mr. Dave Brees, I believe it is.
Beers, yes.
He's the CSX coordination expert. I like that he's the expert with CSX. And I retired from CSX about 42 and a half years, and I've been on the other end when I was an engineer out there and blocking trains and, getting the finger at you and cursed out and all this kind of stuff. So I'm familiar with that. But I guess that's the main thing that we concerned about as far as the timeline and then CSX, because I know they're going to be a determining factor in how long this project will take or how quick it will transpire.
Yeah.
So what, do y'all have some kind of magic wand y'all can do with CSX? Or?
No magic wand. No, sir. But what we'll do is we'll stake the right of way. We know the policies in the public policy manual. We'll try to span the right of way. We'll try to provide. Now CSX has also initiated. There's two lines they're crossing now. They've indicated 3, potentially 4. That's the kind of coordination that we'll have to get with them to figure out how we can span that. And what's their need for 4 if that's the case. So that will have to be determined.
Well, I will say this. This is a great grade crossing they're closing. So every time I've dealt with the railroad, and we're closing a grade cross, they're all for it. So I think they're in favor of this. I think this is something that's going to benefit them.
Because I do know that, the timeline is great if everything works out that way, but a lot of it's gonna be predicated on how fast CSX or how, when they say blessings over it or grace over it or whatever, as far as the project moving forward. But also, whenever we close crossings, then I think that, the county or the city, they should kind of get something in exchange, I mean, because we basically, I know as a former railroad employee, when you close a crossing, that's a benefit to CSX. But, it's sometimes can be a detriment to that city or county, so I think it's something we need to kind of look at with that expert y'all have, Mr. Brees there.
Yes, sir.
Do y'all anticipate a time that they would probably coordinate with y'all and give y'all the okay to proceed?
So what we've done is we've looked at it, kind of the three different phases, kind of with three different opportunities. One is that initial, right when the concept starts, trying to determine what it is that they need from the project, iron that down. Then typically what we do is we develop a project to a point where we lay out and we come up with, this is what the footprint is, and we'll take that to them and they can sign off on that phase. Then once they sign off on that, it's just finishing out the final plan so that they can come back and ensure that what we've said we were going to provide them, we provide them with. They make sure that their drainage is taken care of and their right of way is protected. So that's why it's kind of a three-step process.
Right. Okay.
On your chart, excuse me, you show that the final construction plans would tentatively be available January of 2025. And then you show the continuation of coordination with CSX to continue on into 2025. Would you expect that on January 2025, when the plans are completed, that everything, the project would be settled with CSX, or you anticipate more coordination and changing and that kind of thing?
Well, you would expect this, quite honestly, frequently there may be some small changes at that point. I mean, you're expecting that final plans to have addressed all the preliminary comments. Yes, typically you get back something that you have to tweak, but that's when you're working, you're in your bidding process probably at that point. You're getting close to that point, so you can iron things out of it then.
So no major holdups you would project to CSX?
Correct.
Okay.
That's why you have it laid out. That's why you get that preliminary stage, so that you make sure that you're trying to stay out of it right away as best you can.
Part of that ongoing continuation after final plans are ready is CSX doesn't let you have their special provisions to add into a contract until you actually put your project out to let and advertise it. So that's why some of that coordination is still ongoing to obtain the final documents from CSX to include in the contract to put it out.
So their final approval would be based on our final plan,
Yes.
basically?
We should have their final approval prior to the final plans, because we won't finalize them until we do have their final approval. But we gotta get their final public works manual, their final flagging requirements, just like Norfolk Southern right now is in the middle of changing all their flagging requirements. So there may be some changes with CSX coming down the road, and they don't ever give any of those specifics until right before the project's advertised for letting to the public.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I actually had one of these, that occurred last week. We have a project in Liberty County where we were, we've got those final plans, and we got the comments back, and the comment was to address something that was already listed in the special provision for railroad interest. And so, so sometimes it's just referring back and saying, we've already covered it with that special provision.
Okay, thank you.
So we could possibly, thank you, Jerry, if we could possibly have a bid opening, a January 25, maybe somewhere in that area, what we need to tell our people that we hoping to be able to bid this project.
I think if I'm looking at the schedule, I'd probably say I'm gonna have the bid out there that April, that range. The But, it takes, when you go to put the bid together, it takes some time working through, getting the contract, pulling everything together and getting it advertised. So, no, I'm not looking to say January. It's probably that April, but you're in that process of putting it together.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Any more? Timmy, you got anything?
Just, what I'm curious about, just like we're talking about telling our constituents, what is a tentative completion date for the entire thing?
So you're saying construction as well?
Everything.
Everything. Well, that's a good question. Will, what do you think?
You're probably looking at, and backing up to the preliminary schedule, you're looking at not necessarily January or April, but it'd be 2 years from the time we were given to go ahead if we're slated to do it. And then you're probably looking at a 24-month construction timeframe, simply because with MSC walls, you have waiting periods on your fields, so that dictates part of your time. We're gonna have very restricted working hours to get the beams set over the railroad. That's gonna affect the construction time a little bit. If this was a railroad, or excuse me, an overpass over another road, you'd probably get it done in 18 to 20 months. But you gotta, with the extra time working over the railroad, you're probably looking at a 24-month build out.
And the utility relocations as well in that early time period as well.
Yeah, you mentioned something about, what, MS, what kind of wall you said?
It's called an MSC wall.
That's them,
It's,
Yeah, that's,
it's those concrete panels.
okay.
Yes, sir.
I never knew what the name was, I just knew they use them a lot now.
So basically, we're looking at 25 being when we have all the paperwork done, all the red tape done, all that out of the way, and then 24 months from then being completed. So we're looking at 2027 being completed.
Depending on when you were able to put it on the street, yes, sir.
We might still get to drive over it.
We might be able to.
Now, I can't say if this was going through, GDOT funding or federal funding, you're probably looking at 6 years just to even get final plans ready to do that.
Let me mention this also, I think the manager alluded to it a while back about how it would speed the process up if we didn't have the road that gonna be coming into it, if we didn't.
Yes, sir.
Do the-
You're speaking of Garlington on the north side and south side of Albany Avenue?
Well, if something about the road, how
Yeah.
it would,
Well,
we did that
there was
after.
there was a discussion, early discussion about making the span a little longer so we could run the 2 through streets up under it there on Garlington. If you went by there, the one that comes across at an angle. And it really depends on what the commission wants to do. I know that's gonna increase the construction cost and the cost altogether, but 2, it might be that you design it for that and build the streets at a later date once you get the overpass put in.
And also, that's part of that initial concept survey and, getting more detailed data and then finding out and working with the county and figuring out where we can make adjustments to the original proposed concept.
Okay. Any more questions?
I don't.
You got any more, Timmy?
No, sir. No, sir.
Scott, you got anything?
The only thing I can think of is, I'm not sure how it would be impacted, but we have the 2022 SPLOST, the budget set up to build this. And we've been searching for funding assistance from others, federal government pretty much. But that was one of the things I wanted to mention is it kind of complicates things, because if we're successful in getting federal funding, then that changes the design altogether. Really just pretty much doubles or triples the time period. So that would be something you'd have to keep in mind, that if we keep it all local, we can make it go faster. And I just wanted to point that out, that some people have mentioned that about getting outside funding, but once you do that, you complicate things a good bit. And so far it's budgeted as local funds.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I think that, like I say, I'd be great to get this federal funding in and all that, but we got to remember what we promised our voters and citizens, that if this SPLOST passed, that we would take this money, earmarked, I think of what, like the not type two, but the, level two project. So we don't need to start, changing
No.
oils in the middle of the stream, and say, well, now we're gonna do this, now it's gonna be longer. We need to pretty much try to do what we say we were gonna do, and like I said, we can get the federal money and it doesn't, hinder the length of this project, that's all well and good, but I don't think it'd be a good thing for us to say, well, we're gonna get this federal funding, but it's gonna make the project have to extend out 3 more years before you do it,
No. We wanna go on with it, I think.
No, I do. You get it done.
Council, do you have anything? Are we in, anything you say?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Thank you.
I think, we're,
If the commission decides to contract with Atlas and, Mr. Hofstadter, how long will it take to get a contract together to bring back to the commission?
no,
When is the next meeting?
23rd,
2 weeks.
10 days? We
No.
probably have, we should be very close to that.
27th, excuse me.
27,
27th.
we should have something put together within that time.
Okay.
How long?
2 weeks.
We would have something put together by your next meeting on the 27th.
Next meeting, okay. All right, good. Okay, is anybody else?
I'm good.
No, that's good, we're gonna carry it over and we'll let y'all know something after tonight
Thank you.
at the meeting, all right?
Thank y'all.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming, Carl,
Appreciate
thank you, and thank all y'all for being here. We appreciate it, all right? So let's, move on. Okay, the, B, resolution for 2023-03 pledge support for the Albany Avenue overpass.
You wanna mention this?
We got that one.
Mr. Chairman, Commission, this resolution was drawn up, and as I've just mentioned just previously, there are, we get invitations to apply for congressional appropriations in the budget, congressional federal budget. And part of that, we have to provide documentation that states that the county and the city commission, county commission, city commission are in full support of the project, along with support letters and things of that nature. And that's what this resolution is for. However, I don't know, and I'd have to clarify this, these gentlemen may know, if we do get a congressional appropriation, I'm sure the federal regulations are gonna tie back into that. I'm not sure. So that's what this resolution was to do, was to support, applying for for congressional appropriation. It can be approved, and if we needed a later date, that would be fine, but if not, then we can be just left alone. Now, I had the county attorney to draw this up for us last week.
Okay. We had already discussed that with the city at one time, didn't we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a joint resolution. It's not mentioned on the agenda that way, but it's a joint resolution between the Ware County Commission and City of Waycross. So if it's passed tonight by the county commission, we'll forward it over to the city. And it's just, as I said, it's just to substantiate that both commissions are in full support.
Okay. Anybody got anything on it, discussion on it?
So I wanna make sure I'm clear on what you're saying, is that we do this joint resolution and it's to get maybe like appropriation or whatever, but if it's gonna prolong the period of time, we're not under any obligation to receive these funds.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I've asked that question, I haven't received the answer yet, but something tells me that if it is for that, then we would have to play by their rules. So if this just may be a moot point, but we'll leave it there, and if we need it, we need it, and if don't, we can just leave it alone.
That's not part of this resolution. To apply for federal.
No, sir, it's just, actually, this resolution would go with the application, just to demonstrate the full support of both commissions, that's all.
I don't see it in here.
Any more?
But it's not mentioned in the resolution, if that's what you're asking.
That's my question.
Yeah.
The resolution itself is worded very broadly, just to show support by both the city council and the commission. It is not specific to seeking funds or anything of that sort.
Gotcha.
It's essentially
You
to
just
show
have to have it
support
on
for the
record.
project.
Okay. Any more on it? If not, let's carry it over then. What the 23-04 adoption of the Ware County Hazardous Mitigation Plan. That,
I'm gonna get Jonathan, Daniels to present
Jonathan?
this.
Jonathan, would you come up, please, and explain it to us?
Is that right? Yeah. Getting ahead of myself.
Good afternoon, Chairman of the Commission. This is a resolution to adopt a 5-year plan for the hazardous mitigation. What this plan is, it entails the hazards that Waycross County are subject to, whether it be thunderstorm, winter storm, wildfires, drought, things, hurricanes, tornadoes. And in this plan is formulated every 5 years with the conjunction of Ware County and the city of Waycross. And this is a resolution stating that the new plan that we've just updated, that the commission is an approval of that. Also, with this plan, this allows Waycross and Ware County to apply for FEMA dollars during disasters. This is just one of those kind of a loophole type thing. You have this plan, you're qualified for these dollars. If you don't have the plan, then you're not. So within the plan, that just helps our both Waycross and Ware County governments to be able to apply for help through FEMA during times of disasters, whether it be natural disasters, pandemics, and so forth. And so we're just asking that the commission approve this resolution. City of Waycross will be doing the same thing at their next meeting as well. And once that's done, then it'll be good for 5 years.
Okay.
So the city of Waycross will adopt this same plan.
And what's the cost on this, Jonathan?
The cost of the plan was $19,000, I believe, and that money was granted to us through GEMA. They awarded us a grant to do the plan with. We contracted with the RDC to write the plan, and so once the resolution is complete, it's already been approved by FEMA. This plan's already been approved by them, and then we'll ask for reimbursement from GEMA for what it cost us for the RDC to prepare the plan.
And you say we'll ask for reimbursement, are we gonna?
We will get reimbursed.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we've already been granted the grant
Okay.
for the reimbursement. We just have to ask for it after it's
Yeah,
complete.
okay.
They don't automatically send it to you. You
Okay.
ask for it. So,
Okay.
And we can't get reimbursement for cost incurred during disaster without adopting this plan.
That's correct. Yeah, it's tied to those disasters that we may encounter, whether, like I mentioned, whether it be wildfires or tornadoes, hurricanes, severe weather, storms that come through where that we qualify for a presidential declaration. And that allows us to be able to receive those FEMA dollars based upon we have this plan in place.
Okay.
So it's just a renewal. This plan's been around a long time. It's just updated every 5 years.
Updated.
And when I was reading this information about this mitigation plan and all, hazard mitigation plan, and one part in that speaks about how the EMS director have a meeting at least once a year, for the public and everything.
Right, yeah.
And how many you say was at the big crowd the last time when you had the
The
meeting?
last public hearing we had was myself and the representative from RDC. 2 people.
Overflow crowd.
Right, yes, sir.
Okay, but you fulfill what you were supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
Right.
We're obligated to have public hearings on this plan. We did that and announced that through the Journal Herald, the publication for that. And
Okay.
unfortunately, nobody showed up.
Okay.
Next time we do a fish fry, they'll all
Oh,
come.
okay. All
Okay.
right. Any other questions?
Thank you, John.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Is anybody, anything on it? Any discussion on it?
I don't.
Okay, everybody understand it, you're just gonna leave it, all right? Okay, we're going, on this resolution 2023-05, selection of the 2023 CDBG engineers. We got a list of the engineers. Scott? would
Yes,
you-
sir. We advertised, we received 6 proposals from engineering companies, Carter and Sloop out of Macon, Georgia, JMJ out of Jacksonville, Florida, Statewide Engineering out of Douglas, Roberts Engineering out of St. Simons, TR Long Engineering out of Hinesville, and Hofstadter and Associates out of Macon, Baxley. And there was a committee of myself, Brandon Wallace and Gene Thomas, went through, ranked them. They were all fairly close, and the one that receiving the total number of points was Statewide Engineering from Douglas, primarily because of their experience doing CDBGs in Ware County. But I double checked to find out with our person at Regional Commission about the selection and such, but they have said the requirement that they have is whoever is chosen has to be able to provide a community meeting in the area where the CDBG target area is, to meet with residents, to answer questions about the project and such like that.
Are all these that submitted their applications to us, are all these willing to do that?
That is a requirement. They have to be able to do that. Yeah.
This engineering firm statewide, they're doing the present CDBG, or they have?
The present CDBG is done by TR
Long?
Long, Trent Long.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And that's the one.
That's the one in Emerson Park.
Emerson Park.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay.
So this your recommendation?
Any,
Yes, sir. This is the committee's ranking. Yes, sir.
And this is normally the way they do it whenever we get ready for CDBG and have to have a.
You have to go through the procurement process because it's federal dollars, and you have to go through, advertise, and then use a committee to do the ranking. Yes, sir.
who is the committee there, you and Gene
Me,
and Brandon?
Gene, and Brandon. Yes, sir.
Okay,
So statewide being highlighted, that's y'all's pick?
Yes, sir. That's just the recommendation. Yes, sir.
any more questions on it?
I don't.
And you say right now they're doing the one for Emerson Park.
No
TR
TR
Long.
Long.
Yes.
I mean, TR Long.
Yes,
TR
sir.
Long.
Yeah, yeah.
T.R. Long got the one in Emerson Park.
So have we had any dealing with statewide?
Yes, sir, the one that was done before the one we're currently working on, well, the one that we did street paving and design was done by Statewide, and it was out in, Palmetto Place, I think, is where it was.
Didn't have any.
That's, that was going on when I started back with Ware County.
Okay. Didn't have any problem with them?
No, sir.
Have we had any of them to try the Bennett subdivision?
That's the one we're going after now.
Okay,
Yeah, the one where Mockingbird and
Gilchrist
Cardinal.
Park, yeah,
Yes, sir.
and we're gonna try the Gilchrist Park too, area.
After this one, they're doing the surveying now, so we're not sure how those numbers will come out because 70% of the recipients have to be, low and moderate income. And so if the surveys don't show that, or at least 70%, then we have to locate another target area.
Okay,
And I'm hoping this one qualifies because it takes time to go out and do the surveying and so forth.
all right. We'll carry it over to the vote. Anybody got anything else? That's all. All right. Let's move on to the next. Okay, ordinance on 2023-02, establish maximum speed limit on the Johnny Minshew Road. And we're gonna increase that speed limit? Is that what that?
Yes, sir. It's currently set at 35 miles per hour, and this would increase it to 45. We've got a request, and I think Commissioner Bursch brought it to my attention sometime back. And I've talked with the sheriff's office about it. They concur that, yeah, be no problem moving it to 45, be more consistent with other roads just like it. So that's why they've said that.
Okay. We hadn't had anybody come up against it.
I haven't heard, no, sir. I don't know that any others had pointed that out.
Anybody oppose it? No, y'all got anything on it?
No, the only thing, like I said, I had a request from a constituent, just mention about that road, and it's not, but I think 8 houses on the road, and the road is like 3 and almost 3.5 miles long.
Yeah.
And, it also would have a school bus that has to go down there, so that slows everything down, and the other roads in proximity to that Johnny Minshew Road, I think the speed limit is 45 on most of them, so.
Okay.
Anyway, I just brought it up,
Any more? Okay, we'll carry it over. Okay, on G, alcohol license application request. That on Rouse's old store?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Now, that's just to renew that license or change the name of it?
No, he actually.
Oh, I'm sorry, we skipped F, I think.
Skip something.
Yeah, we
Oh,
skipped
we
F.
skip one? Which one?
Yes, sir, there's one right before that one.
Oh, yeah,
the
transportation plan
transportation
update,
plan.
excuse me. I just
And-
jumped ahead of myself. Okay,
Mr. Chairman, Commission, I want
Transportation
to
plan,
point
I
out
think.
that this is a proposal. I sent it out earlier. I didn't get some follow-up information I needed from this company on the cost to have this transportation plan updated.
Right.
He's going to try to get that to me in the next day or so. And I'd like to be able to move this to the next meeting on the 27th, if that's possible.
okay. Is that all right with y'all?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta have that before, at the regional too, don't we?
Well, it would help to have
That's
it for the regional. I don't think it would be done in time enough to be able to use the data from that on that. But, as I mentioned at our retreat, there's quite a few other things that are in our current plan that we could, submit along with other suggestions and ideas. But I'm not sure how long, this was probably a good 6 to 8 month process. Yes, sir.
Airplane.
Yeah, I thought that thing was supposed to have been done. It's gonna be that much longer before we get it? You think?
The plan, to have the
Yeah.
plan done, yes, sir, you've got public input, you've got public hearings and so forth. It's not a cut and dry plan, it's fairly elaborate with a lot of community input and those kind of things. And then also too, in coordination with the city of Waycross is another big part.
That's an update on our present plan, and we will use the present plan for the original T-Splosh program.
That's correct, yes, sir.
So we'll have. what we
Along
need.
with other things that
Right.
the commissions and staff have heard of and so forth. And the commission, can also hold their own public hearing on transportation ideas. And use that information as a basis of, from the standpoint of, developing projects and that kind of thing. Same sort of process they'll use, they'll use traffic counts and all those other types of things too. But
Right.
So updating the transportation plan will not affect our T-Splosh program.
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on it? All right, let's carry it over.
I think you say you want to hold off on that to the next meeting,
To the
right?
next meeting.
Yes, sir,
To the next
27.
Put it
meeting.
on the 27th.
Yeah, let's carry it over. We'll have to vote on it anyway. Okay, the alcohol license application request.
Jimbo, you wanna mention this one?
Jimbo,
I think you had it right, Mr. Chairman. It's just a new owner, changing ownership.
I was just changing ownership.
Yes, sir, Rouse's Groceries is selling.
Sold out.
Rouse's are selling it. And a Mr. Keaton Kumar Patel is buying it, and, he's applying for his alcohol license for that location. It's just, consumption off premises for beer and wine, what they currently have.
They already have that license, though, don't they? I mean, it's already,
Rouse's does, Stacy
Yeah, I
Rouse
guess.
does,
but they just gonna apply for it in their name.
right.
Okay.
So this is not a request for a distilled spirits license,
No, sir.
which I got word that this is what it was.
No, it's consumption for, consumption off premises for beer and wine. Typically what a convenience store.
Typical
would have.
convenience store. Okay.
Now, I did hear, they do have 2 offices there, or 2 buildings, 2 storefronts. I did hear some talk about maybe the second one, which was where the gun shop was, making that distilled spirits. But this license would not cover that. And there's work they would have to do to that building because those 2 cannot have an interconnecting door. But as far as the owners, I haven't had any discussion with them about that.
So we are not, if we approve this, we're not approving a license for the sale of distilled spirits in Waresboro.
Only beer and wine.
Okay, thank you.
More of a package store.
All right. Any more discussion on it?
Four lane, turn off and go to Western right there.
All right, let's carry it over.
Thank you, Jimbo.
All right, and we have some appointments. Appointment to the Ware County Land Bank Board, the county commission. We have anybody nominee for the land bank?
I think Mr. Lucas would be a good member on that.
Lucas, you move on that.
The land bank, I reckon. Can we have
Any
that?
discussion on it?
See you all on here.
Better speak up.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Speak up, yes or no. If you don't do it, I got to do it.
You want
Well, I'm already on the library.
I'm on all kinds of stuff.
it? You can do 2, I'm
I
on
can
2 or
do-
3.
Yeah, I can do 2.
You got it?
Want
Yeah, I can do it.
Good
And
man.
I can't do it because I just come off of it, so.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
ages you at, what about Steve? Steve ever done it?
He won't, he done told me he didn't want it. We put him on it.
We can handle it. We can handle
While he ain't here, we put him on it.
it. Hey, he ain't here, let's vote for Steve.
You accept it?
Yeah.
All right, let's carry it over. All right, appointment for the Ware County Board of Assessors. I understand we had somebody to,
Yes, sir, we had,
Yeah,
Ms.
right.
Tyner to resign. I put a letter there in front of you.
yeah, she
And,
resigned.
And Miss Kathy Nixon said she's willing to serve now.
So Kathy
Kathy
gonna come
Nixon's
back?
asking to come back, yes, sir.
Serve.
Basically, they're
Okay.
swapping back, so to speak, yeah.
Okay. All right. Any discussion on that? Not, we carry it over.
I think we lost a good one.
She didn't have time to go to school, I don't think.
Well,
what her
she's still a
problem was.
full-time teacher, yeah.
Okay. You got a county manager report?
Let's see, the only thing I want to bring up, I think Mr. Billy Carter, if he's still here.
Yeah.
He wanted to mention something to the commission.
Well,
How
Billy.
y'all today?
Fine, hey,
Billy.
Recently, I think, I don't know exactly when, in the newspaper, the tax commissioner put out that recently, the tax commissioner sent a letter out that was basically all the people that had homestead in Ware County, if there was some frozen exemptions that they were not getting, They had applied for previous exemptions, but say the school exemption came around after the county exemption did, so, basically the letters just informed them, some of them look like maybe just a couple of sentences, that they may be qualified for more homestead. So we've had a lot of attention over that matter in the last few days, and, what we would like to do is put out there, and I spoke with Danny earlier, is, there are a lot of income-based exemptions and age-based exemptions in Ware County, and in the letter that was sent out, the letter did not mention any of that. And what some of that requires is them to bring proof of income or Social Security being deposited in the bank for them to qualify for these income-based exemptions. So we just kind of want to put it out there, because what's happening is we're getting the public coming in, and they're thinking they're coming to get their full stuff, they're prepared to come up there and sign up for it, but they don't have that information with them because it wasn't put out there. It's kind of not a bad, kind of a bad coordination deal with it going out. We weren't exactly sure when it would go out. So we just wanted the public to be informed if they're over 62 years of age, and just on Social Security or on just, basically we verify the total adjusted household gross income, and that is what qualifies them. But we would want the public to know when they're coming to see us to have that information with them, because it's gonna save them a lot of headache and footsteps trying to get that information to us. So we just want to put that out there, and Danny said maybe we can get that out here in the next edition of the paper, and they'll be more informed.
Okay.
All right.
Just want to bring that to y'all. Thank you.
One
Okay.
question, Mr. Billy, I got one question. How's the other coming? The
Coming
appraisals?
pretty good. Like I said, they came in here and hit a pretty good splash number of properties, and we're working right now. Of course, we're 3 short again, so we're out there out there on foot, trying to get it done. We've reviewed about 900 in the last 3 months. Just my people have, me and 2 others. So we're on the ground. We're getting with it.
Look like we're gonna meet the deadline?
Oh, we're gonna do what we have to.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Billy. Any more? You got anything else, Scott?
No, sir, that's all.
Okay, has the commission got any comment?
I don't, Mr. Chairman.
You got, Bruce?
I'd like to remember Steve and his family right now with the situation, unspoken situation that's going through. Just remember him in our prayers and our thoughts.
You okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you, Tim.
we got, Fire Chief, I was just wondering if you could just give us a brief update on the fire station, the volunteer stations, and also specifically about the Ware station.
They got an email Friday with a list of what we've done so far. They will be at the Wasboro Fire Station Thursday morning at 7:30 to lift it. I got an email just prior to coming to here. Do you want me to go through this whole list of
Yes,
what
I
we've
do.
done?
Yes, I do.
Y'all have a list of what we had. It's got a pretty good in detailed information on what we've done. The biggest one is the Wasboro, and they'll lift it Thursday morning at 7:30, or they'll begin with it. I don't know exactly how long that process will take, but they'll start on it Thursday morning at 7:30.
Okay. You
Right,
pretty
Bob,
confident that thing gonna work? Everything
Sir.
gonna be all right, ain't you?
Yes, sir, I feel confident in what they're gonna do and that it'll work.
And we do need to do some grade work around those stations. The chief and I, we talked about that after this is all over, we need to do some grade work around there. And, maybe Brandon
Yes,
can look
sir.
at it, lower some of them.
Pull the away from the buildings.
Right, yeah.
So
Where it's
they
built
can
up.
come toward the buildings. Yes, sir.
Dirt higher than the slab door, and water wanting to go in the building and stuff.
Yes,
Need
sir.
to-
He's
just need
also
some
got,
grade work.
and on the Boggy Bay
Right.
station, he's got somebody coming tomorrow to give him another estimate so we can gather estimates on having the woodwork replaced.
Okay. When you get all that, come back and let us know about it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any more?
Anything else?
Yeah,
We have been advertising for our volunteers as well for the meeting that's going to be on the 27th. It's been in the newspaper and it's been in the shopper. So Anybody that's interested in becoming a volunteer, we urge you to come out to our meeting, find out what it's all about, and so we can hopefully increase our numbers.
Okay.
But we are advertising it, and we had it on the radio last week.
Okay.
The 27th of this month?
Yes, sir. It'll be on a Monday night at 6:30 at Fire Station 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Chairman, we got,
Anything else?
no, I don't have anything. Well, we got election superintendent.
Mr.
Superintendent, you have anything?
Carlos.
You want to share with us?
Mr. Carlos, you got anything for us? Okay, yeah. I think Mr. Davis is back there from Waresboro. Would you like to say anything, Mr. Davis? Is that thing? How you doing?
Yes, I would like to say thank you for what you're doing. I think it's a good move, and if we can complete that station, it'll be a whole lot cheaper than building another one. And thank Fire Chief for what he's doing on it, and the way he's working on it, trying to get the volunteers. So that's about all I have to say, and thank you for letting me come out.
Thank
Sir,
you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Chief? Chief?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd just like to, just let everyone know that, you now can apply for permits online at our office. You don't have to come in anymore except to pay for them, or either pay by phone or credit card. We've got a link on our website that you can fill out all the paperwork for your permits. We're gonna trial run this, and then hopefully, in July, if it goes well, we'll try to move towards the business license applications and maybe try to go forward with that as well.
What permits are included
You
in
talking
the
about
program?
on a building permit?
You can get a building permit, you can get for a house, for commercial, for storage, you can get mobile home moving permits, you can get just electrical permit, just a mechanical permit, plumbing permit. So our main permits that we deal with every day, there's basically 3 tabs. There's one for a new residential structure, there's one for commercial and industrial, and personal storage, and then there's one that is kind of a miscellaneous that covers mobile home permits, electrical, plumbing, and mechanical.
Good deal.
Okay,
Good deal.
Okay, that's real good.
Take a headache off y'all in the office.
that's gonna be good.
Take a headache off y'all in the office.
Maybe cut down on some walking traffic, and our goal is that the county changed out some computers, and hopefully we got some that's in good shape that, was fairly new, that we can set up a kiosk over on the right, maybe 2, and have people, when they come in, instead of filling out paperwork in the office, they go there and fill out paperwork on the computer. And basically how it works, they fill it out, the application. It contains everything that we have on our current applications, and then it gets emailed to 3 people once they hit submit. It gets emailed to myself, Jamie, and the building inspector. And they can upload the plans right there and everything, so.
It's good.
Good deal.
Good job.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jim.
So, I don't want the HR director to feel left out. You got anything for us? We don't want you to feel left out now.
What are you doing, going down the list?
Okay.
You
Okay.
got anything, Tracy?
You welcome to come talk with us if you want to.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Teresa.
No problem.
Anybody else, anything else that we missed?
I believe so.
If not,
You got anything?
I hear a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Yeah, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. We'll be back here at 5 o'clock, 30 minutes.